I was surprised to hear all the drugs he did. I had no idea that he was drinking that much or that he was high every day in school.
I'd get up some mornings and I'd be like, man, today's gonna suck. If I had some prescription pills left over from the weekend, I'd pop a couple of those.
This is a disorder of young people. Very little addiction starts after the age of 30. It almost always starts between the ages of 18 and 25.
How can we comprehend the concept of a person that wants to stop doing something and they cannot, despite catastrophic consequences? We're not speaking of little consequences. These are catastrophic, and yet they cannot control their behavior.
I mean, there have been so many things that I haven't accomplished because of the problem, I think.
My drinking's killing me, and I desperately need help.
The right medication with the right therapy really can give an individual a leg up in recovery.
There are more treatments available. There's better understanding. There's more acceptance that this is a medical condition with real medical solutions than there ever has been.
This whole addiction ruling your mind and thoughts, even though I lived through it, I still don't understand it.
We can't jail our way out of a drug problem. Sending somebody who's got a drug or alcohol addiction to jail and not treating them is a waste of money and lives. They come out as addicted as they were, they return to the same environment, and they start all over again. Drug courts are showing that it doesn't have to be that way.
Mandatory treatment works, and that's why it's one extraordinary opportunity in the criminal justice system to intervene and start treating people that are addicted.
The drug courts that have come up around the country are really showing on a daily basis that with proper incentives, with the use of sanctions in a very careful and well-understood way, you can get people who have been very addicted and run into serious problems with the law into effective recovery, stable housing, and jobs. So the drug courts are showing a way out of this mess.
What would South Boston look like if drug court didn't exist? Well, South Boston would look horrible. There would be an increase in deaths on the street. These people would be dying on the streets.
Greetings from South Boston, where things have been better. We got a real bad drug problem. Parents are fed up, and now I'm hearing my name, not liking that attention. So I mention this before I suggest an intervention, cause I got pull, man. So don't be acting a fool, you'll be in Bridgewater like, what did I do, man? I thought you knew, it's for your own good, fam. So go hustle something up and get your last good jam. And off he goes, always blowing on his nose. He had holes in his sneakers and holes in his toes. He had holes in his arm, but nobody knows. Stays rocking long sleeves everywhere he goes. Had more tracks than the Erico CD collection. Looked in the mirror, but he didn't see a reflection. You need a complexion before you.
God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. This court is now in session, and you may be seated. drug court is it's court that deals with, in our case, people who are convicted, and it deals with the problem, which is substance abuse. And it's the idea of having a comprehensive program that the court mandates, starting with detox, residential program, intensive outpatient, and all that. And it uses, I think, the power of the judge to get people to change their way of life.
Instead of lying and getting caught in the urine,
Right.
I came up here, I talked to my probation officer, I told him the truth. Something I usually don't do, you know what I mean?
That's
Came up
awesome.
like a man and told him that I messed up. It's a vicious cycle.
Daniel Collins.
Mr. Collins, how are you?
Good yourself?
Good. How'd this week go?
Great.
Are you back where you ought to be?
Yes.
Did you figure out what happened?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I was just getting real bored with everything, and it shouldn't be an excuse, but I used it as one. Nah, I'm back on the beam now.
You did as well as anyone was doing here, so I mean, it was very disappointing to me, but you reacted correctly, which was important. All right, you're going to be served with a violation. You're working now? You're back working?
I was laid off for 2 weeks. I should be back next week, but I've been working on the side with my brother-in-law.
All right. Under the table? Over the table?
No, it's on the books.
Okay. All right.
He's been every 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're back to every 2 weeks for a little while. 6-1, I'll see you then.
All right, thank you.
If you talk to almost any judge, after you've been in the system long enough, this sort of recycling people through the system, jail, out, use, back, they have to come, and I have, long ago, come to some sort of revelation, some sort of conclusion that we just have to do something different than the traditional methods we've been using. And drug court is probably the most effective way of making a huge difference, especially for high risk. In our case, it's heroin addicts here in the Northeast.
Drug court or focusing on substance abuse is more about all the elements of a successful effort to supervise a case. Part of those elements are, for example, a detox, and then a holding program, and then a halfway house, which is a 4 to 6 month intensive treatment program where you pack your bags and go and live there, and they tell you when to come in and when to go out, and you will work, and you will pay taxes, and you will remain sober if you want to live in this environment. And then there's a 3-quarter house at the end of that. And all these are elements of our court. All these pieces must be done to graduate.
Hi, can we open up this meeting? I'm Robin, I'm an alcoholic. Identify ourselves.
Patty, alcoholic addict. Patty, Sharon, alcoholic. Sharon.
Danny, addict. Things are going okay this week. Today I got things I thought I'd never have. Me and my girlfriend just bought a house. I'm getting engaged. This week I just bought a diamond ring for my girlfriend. I'm laid off right now, but I don't mind being laid off because it's kind of nice, and there's a lot of stuff I can do around my house. That's about it. Thank you.
Joey addict. I've had a decent week. It's been up and down. Just trying to ask for help more. Boredom's a big thing when you're getting sober, and I'm trying to find things to do to take up my time, and basically everything's going all right. Thanks, Joe. No one wants to be addicted to heroin. Nah, no one grows up as a kid and says, I'm gonna be a heroin junkie when I'm older. But when I did get my hands on heroin, and I sniffed that first bag of heroin, man, it made me feel like I was a movie star. It made me feel on top of the world, like all my problems were gone. My habit probably consisted of about 2 grams a day, which is, I mean, you could probably $200, but it's a lot of clothes. I mean, every day I would wake up, pick a certain mall, go there, and take what I could, just come back and sell it. I mean, that's what I did every day to support my habit. I can't believe I gave this stuff up. I mean, this was my life. This used to be my heroin.
I had to work around ways to, you know, keep Joey under my nose so I could make sure that he did get picked up or arrested. I did that well. I did that very well.
Absolutely.
This kid didn't go on a run too long. It was, you know, as soon as I found out he was using, It was like maybe a week later that we'd get him picked up. I would call every enforcement that I know, between the fire department, the police, Jack Leary. I would tell them exactly what corner he was on, where to go, what phone he was using.
I've been handcuffed sleeping in my bed.
Yeah. I'd never throw him
Woke
out
up in
because, I mean, I know they say, you know, you got to leave your house if you're using. Some, you know, parents, you know, they don't know. They don't know what to do. It's a lot about being educated about this drug. This drug is death at your doorstep. It's death at your doorstep.
Patrick Linsky, is he going to waive his 7 days or not? Mr. Linsky?
I'm having a lot of difficulty with him, Your Honor. He's,
Well, does he have anything, this is what the deal is, does he have anything that shows he's been in treatment before he came and that he has testing that shows he's negative? All right.
What concerns me about this case is that each time he comes back with the exact same, he wants to write his own treatment plan. He wants to go to National Street, he wants to stay in there for a month and get back in a Hope House. They continue to take him, he continues to stay there a month or 6 weeks and leaves.
oh, he's not cooperating with that, Your Honor.
All right. So we'll deal with it in court. All right, Miss Goodwin.
I'm out, Brother Patrick Linsky.
Mr. Linsky, how are you? Where you been?
Judge, Mr. Linsky has been found in violation of his probation. Judge, he went into the Hurley house. He remained there until January 26th of 2005 when he tested positive for opiates. He was terminated from the program. I've had no contact with him since that time.
All right. Mr. Linsky, you did pretty well for periods of time, but you've been out there too long. You know what's going to happen. You're probably going to have to do the program in the House of Correction. That's where you're sitting.
There's no chance of me going to another program?
There's always a chance, sir. But I'm saying to you that given your background and the fact that you've been found in violation several times, this is, I think, the third time you've been found in violation.
That's correct.
So,
And treatment's never supposed to be fun. And we don't make our treatment fun either. Pack your bags 10 times and go to detox. Take your underwear and move to a halfway house in another community with your loved ones back here. Be supervised all day long. Have a probation officer say, I don't think you're doing good, when you put your whole heart and soul into graduating from a halfway house and then from this courthouse. And start over again by going back to jail because you had a slip, and we're going to make you go back.
all right, Joseph McDonald.
Had been doing very well.
Yes.
But in the last week,
Yeah, I hear it.
last week picked up a shoplifting offense out of a Rentham District Court, I believe.
Sometimes I still addicted. The rush, walking out of a fucking school.
And so he'll be getting a violation today, notice today. Still continues to test negative, still continues to show up and be responsible about his treatment. But old habits die hard, and he's typical of many of our clients that we can get them sober, but we can't take care of all their criminal behavior.
What's he doing for treatment now?
He's in our relapse group. He's in the SBoston relapse group. He's going to AA. He's gainfully employed. As you well know, he's been around many years, and we've sent him to jail many times. This is the longest period of sobriety he's had, so this is a setback, no doubt about it, but not a setback as to his sobriety. And I don't know the answer to changing all their behaviors. This certainly deserves a spanking.
Just be outside smoking a cigarette. I'll just come right. Just go right to the door. I'll come back in.
Joseph McDonald.
Judge, Mr. McDonald was picked up on a new shoplifting offense out of the Rentham District Court. He was to be here today, Judge. We're going to serve him with a surrender notice. He's not present this afternoon, Judge. Asked for a default warrant to be issued.
All right, is anyone? All right, default warrant.
We did expect him.
Yes, sir. Just up here at Southie Court, Joe McDonald is well known to the officers in the area. He just skipped out of court, and the judge essentially a warrant for his arrest. So anyone in the area of the South Boston court sees Joe McDonald, you can pick him up for the judge.
His particular case, Joe McDonald, for the time he's been in drug court, is the best he's ever done in his whole life since he first started using. So he's done well up to this point, which is a big difference in the way he was before, committing crimes every day. So yeah, this is a setback, and it's something that happens, but we've still had some success with them. You can't always measure success because they have a relapse sometimes. That's not a yardstick you want to use for success or failure with addiction. I mean, that's just part of the addiction, is people go backwards sometimes instead of going forwards.
And they'll get him sooner or later, but it may be later, not sooner, although he won't leave South Boston, I'm sure. So that's really disappointing. All right, Mr. Goodman, how are you? You've been here quite a while. Passed your hair test. I guess it's time. We've talked a lot about where you have to go. You have to think about education. You're a bright guy. So, are you ready to leave us for 3 months?
Definitely.
All right, come on out. Congratulations.
We have to stop them when they're negative and reward them when they're positive, when they're doing the right thing. It is a school, and it has its timeouts and its suspensions, and it has its graduation day. And that's unique and powerful.
Hey, you gotta say something.
I don't know, drug court at first was just getting in the way of my using. And, but at the same time, I kept, while I was getting in the way of my using, kept having me take a look at my problem. And, but I think without drug court, I probably would have never went to the Gavin. Got me in program, got me in line for getting sober. And, I didn't want to be here, but at the same time, now that it's almost over, it's, I'm kind of grateful for it. I probably wouldn't, probably never would have stopped or even wanted to. And, so I'm grateful for drug court.
Good treatment gets people to start making the changes. When they do that, when that difficult period, so many people drop out of treatment if it's voluntary. But the fact that they have coercion keeps them facing those problems. It was not a bad week. Glad to see some of you doing so well. However, I want to make this perfectly clear to everyone in the program. When you're sent and you agree to do treatment somewhere, it's not enough for you to say, I just don't like this kind of treatment. Find out what it is ahead of time. I'm sick and tired of people leaving because they're finding it too tough. Understand? With that said, I always like to end on a good note, so we will. I'll ask, first of all, the following people to stand and be recognized. And of course, we start with Mr. Goodman. You have to stand up, remain standing. Congratulations on the next big step. And I'll allow the following people to join Mr. Goodman, starting with Kevin Conley. Mr. Majewski, you've done very well, and I appreciate how well you've done under difficult circumstances. And I'll see you in a month. Good luck. Congratulations to all of you. Leave quietly. Thank you.
One of the most important stimuli for us is the social recognition. And the drug court system uses it. It's wonderful because what they do is they bring the person that's addicted to the court and in front of the judge, but also with the other addicted people and with the team. And if the person has done very well, he is endorsed or she's endorsed. And this is a great recognition. And the persons that are addicted feel very positively about it because they think that, they are winning battles. They are tired of losing a battle after a battle. So they are being offered the possibility of being shown in front of a lot of people and says, you've done something that really is wonderful. You've been able to stop and follow your treatments and do as said. And that social endorsement is incredibly powerful in modulating behavior, even in addicted persons.
Parents need to know that they can go to the court system and really fight for treatment alternatives for their kids that might avoid a criminal record. And they need to be able to negotiate with the judicial system and with the prosecutors that treatment supervised by the court can be an alternative to a criminal record.